Rick Without the K James presents, in my opinion, podcast.
For our next topic, how many baby daddies is too many?
One. One too many.
I personally would think that
kids. No, I got two baby dads.
I would think you automatically are given one, mistake, or what do they call it in golf? They call it a mulligan. You get one mulligan. So if someone has two baby daddies, I can understand it, and it's acceptable. I mean, everyone messes up once. Everyone ends up in a marriage that they maybe weren't happy with, and find that second person that they're in love with, so they have a second kid with a second.
Therapy.
Well, they have a second kid with a second person.
Looking for your third?
No.
I think it's fine, because like I said, if you're saying no, a woman can only have a baby, one daddy, and that's it, has to have every kid from one guy. Well, then you're talking about us being perfect, and people aren't perfect. Now, once you start developing that third kid with three different daddies, I think you start getting to where, no, come on, man, that's just that's just poor choices. You're starting to get to the fact to me where, I don't know. I think having kids with two different men or two different women, I think is acceptable. But once you start going past that, I just you
Is
see.
it the same for males?
Yes.
That's what I want to know.
Yes, it is. Because, it's like, remember, it's like I had a talk with a good friend of ours, you know who I'm talking about, who has an 8-year-old and was wanting to get another girl pregnant just because he wanted to get her ass pregnant. Stupid ass. You know what I'm talking about. And I told him, I said, you realize, just so you understand, you're going to have a kid over here and a kid over there, and you're going to be paying child support on two of them for the next 14, 15 years. And just understand that type of stuff. So it don't matter whether you're a man or a woman. When you start doing that type of stuff, it just pulls you in so many different directions. And if you're a woman, this boy's got to go see this daddy, and this boy's got to go see this daddy. And I think it's hard.
It is.
But like I said, if you do it with two different people, to me, the first one you could just write off as a mistake or learning or whatever you want. Once you do it a second time, right, a surprise. Once you do it the second time, if you don't learn after that, then it's like, just go ahead and have a fifth or sixth one, I guess.
You just don't wear your mask in Corona.
Just
Right.
start me this question first, dude.
All right, you're going next.
I'm going first just because like it's such a sensitive topic and that it's so relatable for me, and I have two. I wouldn't even call them mistakes. You know what I mean? No, like I would not say. I wouldn't even call them mistakes, guys. Like it was like how do you even say it? Because like I got two baby dads. My kids' dads are awesome. You know what I mean? They're really cool. But when you start saying about the separation, yeah, that's very hard. It's very hard, and I get depressed. That's one thing that I suffer with still currently.
Yeah.
I was 18 and 21 when I had my kids, and I didn't plan pregnancies. They weren't planned. With my son's dad, I was going to college.
There's a such thing as a planned pregnancy?
There are. That's a beautiful thing, and it
never really goes as you planned.
It don't,
Yeah,
but and it is, and I envy people who said they're like, yeah, my kid was planned. I was planned. I was the only one that was planned for my parents. We were all same mom, dad, same household, all this stuff.
Yeah, your dad planned not to put it in your mom's butt then.
I hate you.
So anyway, it's hard, and I'm in a relationship now. We have no kids, and we've been together 3 years, and he wants kids, so it's conflicted in our relationship. You know what I mean? Because I would love to flip that. So you know what? I want to have kids with you, but I can't because, like you said, after 3, it's like, okay, really? You know what I mean? Like, it's hard. It sucks. Because like I said, I was with my son's dad. It didn't work out. He made decisions that caused me to leave when I left to go to college, all this stuff, start my life. Found out I was pregnant, came back. You know what I mean? Separated, met my daughter's dad, slept with him one time on birth control pills. Not pills, birth control patch. If you guys remember little patches, you know. And I got pregnant.
She said no.
No. I know about him, but I never had.
Yeah.
So I use the pull-out method.
It's the cycle.
It's hard, So that happened, and I knew for myself I wanted another kid for my son, So he wasn't the only child, so I made that decision. Yet after almost 9 years, it just wasn't what I wanted, And it sucked. And And we got along great. It's good co-parenting, yeah, it just sucks, it didn't work. And like now the person that I am with and that I would like to build a future with, like doesn't have kids, and that conflicts with our relationship, and it's like I don't want to be like that, you know what I mean? 3 baby dads, all this stuff, and have all this separation. Like we were talking before the show, togetherness. I want togetherness. That is my biggest thing. That is something like too, like that I want, that I stress out when I start thinking about mortality. You know, like do I have enough time being together with everybody that I love? You know. So it's just.
But you do have 2 beautiful children.
I do. I have 2 beautiful kids.
We talk about the pull-out method. They used to have a running joke where they always say, you know how many kids have been born on Trust Me? I can name one. You're up next.
Awesome. It's probably too late to give you this advice since you've been with him for 3 years already. But see, me, I only have 1 baby daddy, 2 kids. I wanted 2 kids because I wanted 1 plus a friend so they can play together.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
It's true. It's true.
And so they don't bother the fuck out of me,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But so 1 baby daddy, we were together for 13 years. We got we got married, we got pregnant, we did that whole legit thing, and then we're getting divorced. That's what happens. So from now on, in the dating scene, first question is like, do you have kids? Do you want kids? Like, those are the things that I ask before I check you off.
We
You know what I mean?
We're coming
It's
up
like,
to that.
do you have kids? Yes or no? It's like, yes, okay. How many? How many mothers? You know, how many people do I gotta deal with?
I
You
don't
know?
want to deal with anybody with kids.
Exactly.
So-
But then think of it,
And that's where I'm
in that
selfish, I'm not
sense.
gonna lie, you know what I mean? And so that's one thing that we do conflict on but it is, but yeah.
yeah, I don't mind dealing with a baby mama as long as I don't gotta deal with 4 baby mamas. You know, I'm okay with that. Maybe 1, that's good. As long as I don't gotta deal with them.
I still have never had to meet another woman for my kids' fathers. So I didn't want to deal with a baby mama from somebody else.
You know, we were talking about getting older and stuff, and that's kind of a funny thing, you mentioned that, but, you know, when you're a young kid, you never think about asking your partner, how many kids do you want, and how, this and that, but,
I did.
oh, well, a lot of people don't though when they're 18 and 19, they don't, that thought never crosses most people's mind.
That changes. Because
Right.
when I was married,
That's
I
what-
thought I wanted to have 10 kids. And
Yeah.
I had the 1 and was like, okay, we're maybe going to have 1 more. And I stopped at 2.
Yeah.
And she's had 2 more since.
And that's what I did. I had 1, and then when we separated, and I was raising my daughter on my own, I didn't want to do it again. And she was about 6 by then, and I thought, if I wanted them, I wanted them to be within a few years of each other.
Yeah.
So they could be friends, not distant, you know.
Likewise.
And so, once my daughter turned 6 or 7, and she was 8 or 9 before I got into another really serious relationship, and I said, I just didn't want to start all over. And that was my whole thing. But you know, I love the fact now that as an older person, when I get in a relationship, there aren't things I lay down. Where do you want to retire? Where do you want this? What's your thought on this? Stuff that you never think about asking. And like, that's what, I know that's a very important part to you, and we'll go to you next on this, but I know you don't want a woman that wants to have children anymore. So what's your take on this?
Which is hard because I want to be with a woman who's fruitful. You know what I mean? I want to be with someone who's 25, but I don't want to have fucking kids with your monkey ass.
Well, most of the 25-year-olds have already had like 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
Or like
And then
10-year-olds.
and then I don't want to be someone's stepdaddy neither. So we've already talked about all that. But how many baby daddies is too many? I'm kind of like with Ronnie, but there's an exception. And I'm glad you didn't mention it, so I will. And the exception is if the second baby daddy dies, all right? Then you get a free pass again. Because you was trying to build a life with someone and he died, so now you may be the third person.
So as long as you're a widow,
Yeah,
we can
if
deal
you're
with
widowing pussy out, then it's okay. But other than that, bitches, put the dick down. Jesus
honestly,
Christ.
but then
So-
how many baby mamas is okay? You know what I'm saying? Like if you have
And
like
that-
7 baby
And
mamas.
that's why I mentioned it, but as I make the joke, right? I make the joke on stage. I said I had to go home, tell my wife she needs to have an abortion. And everybody thinks I'm a dick. But what you don't know is I had a vasectomy 5 years ago. Now who's the and I said, and I thought it was a good joke till it came true to life, and that's how I got divorced, my second divorce. Right? Because that's what happened. I'm pregnant. Well, bitch, it ain't mine.
It ain't mine.
It ain't mine. So, and I think that's why I can talk that shit, because I lived that shit.
Yeah.
I had 2 kids with 1 baby mama, and my second kid was a scared pregnancy, had a cyst in the brain. We weren't sure if he was gonna come out, and as you guys have seen, Sean's as normal as it gets, right? And then he had a febrile seizure. And even though I'm a nurse, I tell people, I can nurse anybody else, but when your own kid is fucked up, all that training went out the door. I just saw a little baby there shaking, fucking rolling eyes, and I'm calling 911, screaming on the phone. I'm like, help my kid, what's wrong with him? And at that point, I was like, I'm done with having kids. Like, let's find out a way to afford to have the 2 that we have, and let's be happy. They're both healthy children, and move about the way. So I think that's why I brought about the question, because when I do see women that are using kids especially for a paycheck, like, come on, bitch, like get a fucking job. Even if it's, you know, like Chris Rock says, even if it's a job holding dicks, just get paid for it. You know what I mean? Like, stop having all these babies so you can fucking pay your own rent off of child support.
That's where we go. I've never done the child support thing. And my kids' fathers, that's one thing during our separations, because we knew, you know what I mean, that as long as I can maintain an education for myself, so I can educate my kids, and I can work, that's all I ask. I never had to pay for child care, and I never had to get child support. My kids' fathers are very supportive of what I got going on, and of their kids, so there's no reason to get child support, you know what I mean?
Yo, it's your boy Charlie Murphy, my main man, Rick James. That's the one you think, the comedian Rick James. Get up on him.